Political economist Professor Patrick Bond says US President Donald Trump's tariffs on South African goods have led to a sharp drop in the country's exports to the US during the second quarter of this year.
We're still at 30%, and I think for the most crucial exports hit hard now are, since end of July, are in citrus and the vineyard products, the wine and the grapes, and also macadamia nuts. So we're going to see lots of job losses in agriculture. And then finally, we've got a reprieve on our basic metals. That's an important part, about 35% of South African exports to the US, platinum group metals and gold and manganese. There are a few others. Iron ore is not in that, but they get 0%. And the point there is that Trump really wants to retain the old neo-colonial arrangements in which Africa simply exports raw materials. And the idea that maybe blue jeans from Lesotho or cars from East London could be penetrating the US market, he doesn't want that.
Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Parks Dow has expressed optimism that the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, will be extended by at least a year. Dow believes that AGOA continues to enjoy bipartisan support, though its renewal requires an act of Congress at a time when US lawmakers are focused with the ongoing budget standoff. Ministerial spokesperson Camille Ali.
The overall message was that there remains broad support for the renewal of AGOA in Congress across the aisle. However, questions remained on the period of renewal, the timing of when AGOA will be renewed, and also the legislative vehicle for renewal. On the period of renewal for AGOA, the consensus suggests that AGOA may be renewed for a short period of between 1 to 3 years to allow Congress to introduce changes and improvements to the program. The timing of the renewal of AGOA will depend on the legislative vehicle that Congress chooses to renew AGOA. Some members of Congress cautioned that AGOA may expire on 30 September 2025, but efforts will be made to renew AGOA as soon as possible thereafter. Currently, Congress is seized with a continuing resolution bill to pass funding for government to avoid the shutdown. South Africa continues to work with other AGOA-eligible countries coordinated by the African Union Permanent Mission in Washington, D.C.
Bond, however, is more critical of AGOA's renewal. He argues that South Africa has struggled to find new markets, in part because BRICS partners, especially the likes of China, are also facing US trade barriers, leading them to dump goods at below cost. Nosipho Khatebe, SABC News, Johannesburg.